Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin. And Doug, how was your holiday?
It was good. Boy, that was a fun little. Yeah, that was good. It was good. Things are good. Things are fine. Holidays.
No, let's go back. Let's go back and talk about what happened.
All right.
The delay. Let's talk about it. What
Okay.
happened?
So Justin and I usually start this off by me counting down from 3 to 1, and then we clap to synchronize the time. So when I go back and edit, I know where everything lines up. So when I did it this time, you clap was just like a couple milliseconds longer than normal, and I was like, didn't like that delay.
It was longer?
Yeah.
Like my clap got extended?
No, just you clap, but like the delay in which like you clapped afterwards, I'm like, oof, that I don't know what that means for this post.
It didn't feel good.
In post, I might be like, oof, okay, this is interesting. This will be interesting. Because honestly, when I edit this, sometimes it feels like you and I are in two different timelines, like two different universes, and I'm like, I'm the bridge to try and make it work. Because, yeah, it's strange.
This is why I miss more than I can fucking say. I miss being in person.
This is the only
doing this
reason why
fucking
Justin
podcast.
misses it, is because
Oh my God.
recording. That's it.
That's it. No, it's just because I feel like there are little moments that are lost that we could capitalize on.
Yeah.
That you and I both just kind of subconsciously or superconsciously just let go.
Yeah.
Like we let them go by the wayside. We don't pursue them because we know it's just not going to have that same magic. Do you listen to the Rickroll podcast?
No.
Okay. He just came across my, my personal zeitgeist recently. I subscribed. I hadn't listened in a while, and I finally decided I'm just going to dive in. It's a great podcast, but he was just talking about to Brian Grazer about the difference between doing stuff via Zoom and doing stuff in person. And his podcast, he likes to sit down and have a real in-depth, like make a connection with someone, have a real in-depth kind of philosophical conversation just about life, about who this person is, how you can be successful, how you can be your best self. And he's like, when the pandemic hit, and I think he's done this for 11 years. He's at almost episode 800. So he's like, when the pandemic hit, I was forced to do a few of these via Zoom. And he goes, immediately I could feel the magic get sucked out of the room. He goes, I wasn't able to form that connection. And I was listening to it. I'm like, that's spot on. That's what Doug and I go through.
Just goes to show you how
tough.
awesome we are as we create the
Yeah.
magic, even with the technological barriers, you know?
That's true.
We make it happen.
We're better than Rick Roll, I think that we're saying.
I feel like that's not a real person. That's the thing you do to someone that you don't like. And then you give them, Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
Oh, I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sure. Rich Roll?
I feel like that's really awfully close to Rick Roll. So, But
Yeah, I think it is Rich Roll. Sorry, it's not Rick Roll.
y'all just got Rick Rolled.
If we had the rights to that.
This is like a cookie joke bit. You say Rick Roll the whole time and like, wait a minute, is that his name? Like, oh fuck, he got me. Yeah, very elaborate Rick Roll prank. So
You're welcome.
yeah,
I've been
Super good.
plotting that since Thanksgiving,
Yep.
so you're welcome.
Ta-da! So good, so good.
There it is.
Yeah, no, I realized that when I had Jill on here, and I was like, wow, there's like some magic here. Like, I think I like this person, Like, I think it's probably good we're together, Like,
Yeah. I'm glad it took to having her live on a podcast to realize that.
And for the record, I was gonna do another one with her last week, but my brother came in like unexpectedly, and I was like, well, we can just throw that out the window. So, because she was like, how are we gonna do this with Natalie? I'm like, I don't know, just tell her to go watch TV for an hour. I'm sure she won't have a problem with that at all, Although she does, like, when she knows that we're doing something without her, she's like, oh, I want to be a part of it. And I'm like,
She's got that little 7-year-old FOMO.
Yeah, she definitely has FOMO with stuff where she's like, what are you doing up there? I want to come in.
Yeah.
She's like a dog. Like Loki got really mad at me when I was playing D&D the other night. I had the door closed and she's laid outside of it. Jill Gay sent me a text. She's like, Loki's mad. She's like, I want to come in. I want to come in your room. No closed doors. You know, she was really.
Did you just hear that little?
I heard like she like bumps on the door because she thinks that because she's busted this door open before because it doesn't always latch. Always like you're, like it's not opening. No. She likes to come in here and look out the window too. So like that's just she's just like this sucks. I don't like it. You know, so she's pretty pissed about it. Yeah. So we were gonna do one, but scheduling got in the way, and I was like, well, what are you gonna do? So that is what it is. So, but we're back. We've had some time off. It's been nice to relax, recoup, regroup, eat soup. I had soup tonight, actually.
Did you make it yourself?
I did. Chicken noodle soup, baby.
What did you make? Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Do you steep the do you cook the chicken in the soup for like a couple hours or?
It's a center recipe, so it's like chicken, whatever chicken stock, and you get some thighs together, and then.
So you're not doing a whole bird?
I'm not doing the whole bird. I've actually never made my own chicken stock before. I hear it's infinitely more flavorful than what you get at the store, but I'm also
when Beth and I do chicken soup, we put the whole bird in there and let it go, and it's fucking amazing.
I'd love to do that sometime. I know it takes a while to make the stock. It's no joke. But I got a cool Christmas present. I got an immersion blender. So
I've been thinking about getting one.
I'm gonna try and make some tomato soup at some point, like because I saw a recipe for that where I was like, "Yo, that looks legit." I want to do some tomato soup with a grown-up grilled cheese. Like a legit grilled cheese, and I think that sounds pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was why I wanted to get it. I saw a recipe on Instagram about that, and I'm like, I
was like, okay,
come to daddy.
I'll do it because Natalie's been asking for tomato soup for a while, and I was like, all right, because that's the thing too is like for me, a lot of stuff I don't like a chunky sauce. I don't like a chunky marinara. I don't like a chunky salsa. I don't like a chunky pizza sauce. I like it smooth. I like the flavors of it all. I just don't want the chunks. So. Yeah. You tell me like I can now have this thing that I can just get in there and blend it all up. I'm like I'm all for it, man. This because my blender doesn't do small quantities of stuff very well. It's in there for the long. Same thing with my food processor. It's a big one, so now I have an option to get in there and actually get this stuff.
Even with the one that we have, even if we do a big like a whole thing of soup, like if it's 5 quarts of it, like whatever it is, I still feel like it doesn't get it as smooth as I see it when I watch a video of someone making it. Never gets it as smooth. And I think the immersion or emulsion?
Emulsion, not immersion. What was this?
Is it emulsion? I honestly don't know.
You know what? Fucking goddamn it! I was like,
because I looked it up real quick and I found Google said
it is immersion. So I did have it right. Immersion. It blender.
Is okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh, what is this?
I didn't know.
Immersion abroad. Like get fully immersed in the culture.
Really dive into the world of blenders, immersion blenders.
Yes.
You're gonna. What kind did you get? Because some of them, when I was researching, some of them said, which I thought was the dumbest thing. Some of them said not to be used with like hot liquid,
harmful if wet.
I was like, that's. Yeah, they said don't get this wet; it will turn into a gremlin.
I don't know. Oh no! Merry Christmas, indeed. I don't know the brand. It has like a ton of different attachments to it, which I thought was really cool. So I was like, it's not just like the blender part. There's one that's like, it's got a whisk. So you could just do like straight whisk.
It's got a fleshlight attachment.
You beat me to it. You beat me to the joke, you piece of shit. I was going to get there. I was going to slow play it, but Justin wants to come early. So here we are. Thank you, Justin.
I took a page out of Doug's book.
You just went right to it. I was like, I know exactly what, because the first thing I did when I put the whisk on, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right at all. I'm just like, I'm like, you're sleeping with me tonight. Like it's whatever. Anyway, yeah. So it's got a bunch, I don't know, it might be Braun, who knows. I took it out of the packaging, threw it away. I'm sorry, I recycled the packaging. I was like, cool, it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So
that's exciting though. So I can't wait to see what you create.
Yeah, I'm excited to give that a try because I'd love to make some more soups or just find other things where I'm like, I've seen things where like, and then just do that because I've actually made my own pizza sauce before, like with the whole like peeled tomatoes and stuff out of the can and whatever. And I just like I want this smooth, man. I want it smooth, brother. And it's like, oh no, I just put this thing in there and just get it all good to go. It's awesome. You know, I'm excited.
I love it.
I'm excited to try it. Yeah, I'm pumped. So fucking pumped, baby. I'm pumped.
And did you get that for Christmas?
Yes.
So what else did you get?
What
else was the haul?
What else did I get? I got a electric pepper shredder. Put the full peppercorns in there and it just goes,
and it just
shreds it.
And it comes out in ribbons.
It does.
Yeah.
It comes out in ribbons. Did you know that pepper can come out in ribbons? It's crazy.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
amazing.
awesome. Yeah, I got that, which was nice because I had a hand crank one. Now I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. It's so helpful. I love it. I got a new cutting board, a wooden one, which is great.
Ooh, nice.
Very excited about that. I got a roasting pan, which is nice. A lot of these things I'm like, really wish I could have opened these up prior to Christmas. Would have been helpful for the dinner on Christmas Eve. Would have been really helpful. I think that's it. I think there's one more I'm forgetting, but
it's a very cooking Christmas for you.
Yeah, which is great. I'm like, give me all the cooking stuff. That's fucking awesome. I'm here for it.
I love that.
I'm there for it all the time. So, which is pretty dope. So,
what was the best thing Natalie got?
I mean, she got a lot of cool stuff, and I'll give her credit, man. She's played with just about everything, and
that's awesome.
I got her a keyboard. So, which was amazing. So she's just she's like having a hard time, like just not playing.
Is it one that you actually play, or do you hit a key and it just like does a pre-programmed like loop? It does both. Okay,
It's a legit one. It had like a stool
Nice.
and music stand with it and everything. Like, it's a legit one. I was like, She mentioned that she wanted it. I'm like, who am I to deprive her of a musical instrument? Okay.
Yeah.
I told her, my brother and I used to have one of these like growing up, and we took piano lessons, so this was like a fun way to do this sort of stuff. So she'll go over there and just be like, just hit stuff. And I told her the keys. I'm like, these are what these are. This is what a standard C scale is. Like, there you go. And I was like, if you ever want to take piano lessons, you let me know. I'll get you hooked up.
Do you think she might?
She might. She said she was interested. I'm like, all right, we'll revisit that in a few months, and we'll see if you're still into it. Because if you are, I'd be happy to teach you.
Does she have a natural proclivity towards music? Like, is she rhythmic, or does she sing? Does she have good pitch, or
doesn't have good pitch?
Some kids are just a savant.
She has a friend of hers that has done musical theater. That's the same, and that girl has vibrato. Like, this girl kills it. She was. They were doing a production of like, I don't know, Little Mermaid, and she sang A Whole New World. I was like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Holy shit, this girl's got a voice on her. I'm like, okay, that's not Natalie, which is fine. That's totally fine. She didn't have to be her. But she just, I don't know. It's like, I love the idea of like, oh, you're interested in music? Here's something. Go play around with it. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah.
If you want to learn more, I'll help you learn more. I'd be happy to what's the word I'm thinking of? Subsidize that. I'm happy to invest in that for you if that's what you want to do.
Foster the creativity.
Yeah, she wanted a recorder last year, which I regret getting because I was like, this thing sucks.
Like a flute recorder?
Yeah, she's like, I want one of those. I'm like, all right, well, this will be cheap, and I got her some music, and I'm like, this is gonna fucking suck, and it did. And now she just gets it out and toots on it from time to time, and I'm like, no. Like, put it away. This is awful. You don't know how to play that. So here's a keyboard, which is way better. Like, she just puts in. She found like the waves sound effects. She found birds and all this other stuff, and she just has a good time. So,
does it have a headphone jack?
It does. Also has a microphone jack. So
bingo.
She learned what feedback is with the microphone.
Nice.
She goes, Dad, I think the keyboard's broken. I'm like, no. It's called, you need to unplug your microphone and not hold it to the speaker.
You're like, all right, my brief career as a audio engineer is going to come out now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know much, but I know this. I learned this the hard way. Did you ever hear this cool laugh that Justin did on our podcast? It's I'll never forget that day when we first tried to stream and where we got caught in the infinite loop.
That was something else. That was something else.
Wow, I don't even know.
We were both in hysterics that day too.
Anyone that was, God bless anyone that was listening to it too. They were like, "What is this?" It was just.
I think Jared was there.
It just kept going and kept going because our voices were just like, I don't know what it was, but it kept going and it just turned into this giant mess. Oh. It was horrific. And eventually I was like, we got to shut this down, man. The world's going to implode on itself. This can't keep happening.
It was right at the start of COVID, too.
Yeah, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. So, saw it all. And thank you very much for the books. It's very kind of you.
Yes, absolutely.
To send us the books.
Beth came across this thing on Instagram that was talked about an old Icelandic tradition where on Christmas Eve, people exchange books and they spend the night reading and eating chocolate. And she was like, that sounds fucking awesome. Yeah. And so we went out. I think it's called Voss Chocolate in Chicago. We've ordered from there before. It's like handcrafted truffles with like these really like unique flavor combinations. It's really, really good. Highly suggest anyone who's into chocolate, go check them out. I think it's VA. I'll find it. Don't worry.
It's called Voss.
Voss Chocolate.
Voss Chocolate. It's delicious. It gives you everything you need in the daily nutrient guide. There's vegetables. There's fruits. VOSGES.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's pronounced Voss?
Voskes Hot Chocolate.
Wait, hold on.
Gourmet chocolate.
Hold
Luxurious.
on. You were saying Voss before, correct?
Yeah, I thought it was Voss, but I didn't remember how to spell it. VOSGES. Vosges.
It's not even close.
Voss.
It's not even close.
Voss. Voss. It's the G, because it's German that you swallow the G, so it's Voss.
Voss. Voss.
House chocolate.
House chocolate.
House chocolate.
Voss.
Anyway, so we grabbed a couple of boxes of those, and we went to this cool little bookstore that we found in AITA and picked out books for everyone. We got Doug and Jill and Nat. We got my mom and stepdad, got Beth's family, got my dad's side of the family, and then we packaged all these things up and shipped them out, and everyone had them for Christmas Eve. So it was a fun, and then Beth and I exchanged books too. She got me a book by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I got her a book called Braiding Sweetgrass, which was something she'd had her eye on for a while. So
nice.
Yeah, it was. It's a fun little weird tradition, and I'm glad everyone was into it.
Yeah,
Yeah. We were wondering if any family was going to be like, or anyone was going to be like, "What is this?" But everyone was receptive to it.
Is this a sandwich with words? I don't like it.
That's my favorite new way to describe a book. What is this? A sandwich with words? No, thank you.
Hard pass. I'm on a diet of red meat in America. You know? You commie? I was going to say something way worse. But it's a new year, new me, you know? So.
That's good, yeah. So you guys had a good Christmas. That's
it was good.
Your
it was
brother
chill.
came into town. That's good.
He came in.
Probably been a while since you've seen him.
Yep, not since the summer. So yeah, it was pretty chill and still on break right now, which is awesome. Having a good time. Just chilling, mind my business. I suddenly looked around and I couldn't believe it. I swear, my niece, my witness. You know what I'm saying? Name that tune.
Keep it up.
Name that tune. Do it.
Parents just don't understand.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Ironic by Alanis Morissette.
You're gonna get your ass beat in the parking lot. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna hire someone to beat your ass for not knowing that.
Can you tell me which parking lot so I can avoid it?
I'll give you. There's gonna be two. Choose wisely. It's in one of them. It's not in the other. So.
One of them is in Cleveland, Ohio, and one of them is in Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids or Cleveland? Good luck. You're like, fuck. When am I going to Cleveland? No. That's the horrifying part. You're like, oh God, I'm in Cleveland. I can't be here. He said.
I quit. I don't want to go to Cleveland.
Everything about Cleveland terrifies you because you're like, he said.
I mean, Cleveland in general terrifies me.
I've never been to Cleveland, so I can't. I feel like
Nor
it's.
have I.
I feel like it's one of those things where
I don't like.
Ohio kind of just makes me be like gross.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, Ohio in general.
Yeah, not. There's. Okay, Justin, let's do it. Top 5 states that you don't want to go. That you don't want to go to.
That I don't want to go to.
That you're just like. Someone's like, hey,
hard pass.
Hey, all expense paid trip. We're going here, and you're like, I'll go, but like, why?
I think Ohio and Indiana are battling for top of that list.
But you've been to Indiana, so like.
Well, right, which is why I definitely know I don't want to go back.
Confirmed. Don't want to go there.
Confirmed. Hard pass.
Yeah.
Ohio, Indiana. Let's see. I would say Oklahoma. Zero desire to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that's a state. First off,
It looks like it's like a finger pointing at somebody, like you.
Yeah.
You're in trouble, pal.
or a sizzling frying pan.
Something like that.
I was gonna say Florida. I disagree with the politics, but I like Disney. So
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
And honestly,
the
the location's pretty awesome, but
I'm gonna put Ohio and Indiana back. So it's gonna go Ohio, Indiana, Oklahoma, Ohio, Indiana.
Okay, all right.
I really dislike those two. Never been to one of them. What about you? What's your top?
I mean, honestly, a
What's your top five?
lot of the South. I'm just like
Most of the South?
like Mississippi. I'm sure there's some cool spots in there. Not dying to go there.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like there are some cool spots.
There's
which is
always
why-
cool spots. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, in every class
Except in
you've
Ohio,
been in,
Indiana, and Oklahoma.
every class you've ever been in, there's a cool kid at least in there, but the class can still suck ass. You know what I mean? Like
That's a fair point.
in every situation, there's a highlight. I'm sure there's badass places in Mississippi. I don't want to go to the state. I'm not looking to go
Arkansas?
there. No, hard pass. Alabama, no thank you.
The only city I would go
West
to
Virginia,
in Arkansas.
no thanks.
No to West Virginia.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need any hillbillies in my life. I'm good. I'm fine.
Do you remember our favorite city in Arkansas? It was back in the day. Todd Hammer was from there.
Oh shit, no, I feel like I should know this. I don't remember.
Bald Knob, Arkansas.
Bald Knob. There you go. All right.
Do you remember that?
I'd love to go back and meet the people at the naming convention for that one. They're like, all right, what are we going to call it, fellas? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, how about we call it Paris? Well, there's already a Paris, Tennessee, so we don't want to go, How about Venice? No. How about Milan? Carthage. There's already so many Carthages in every goddamn state. I don't know. What's that thing over there? What, the doorknob? Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a bald knob. There you go. That's my vote. Bald knob. Who's here? Who wants bald knob?
Or it's just the town drunk was just a bald guy and is Larry, you're such a bald knob.
He's like,
and
fuck.
someone's like, hey now. Hey now.
Yeah, he's onto something. Bald knob.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird place. Yeah, most of the South, I just like, nah,
Okay,
I'm
just
good.
don't wanna- yeah.
I just,
Let me ask you this. What state in the South would you want to go to? That might be an easier way
that
to
is better.
narrow it
That's
down.
better. And by the way, like if anyone's from the South, like congrats. Like here's your award.
Congrats.
I just don't have any real desire to go to any of those places. They're not on my list. So I'm not dying to go there.
I would love to see New Orleans. I would love to get down to Louisiana and see.
Louisiana's another one
specifically
where
New
I'm like,
Orleans.
that's those are some mud folk. You know what I mean? Mud people, as Chelsea David called them that. That's why I call them that. She's like, oh, they're mud people. I was like, that's funny. That's really funny.
We are absolutely gaining new fans on this episode.
Yeah. I mean, New Orleans, like, I do and I don't. Like,
I would just want to see it.
I would
It's the
go-
Same, I look at it the same way as Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm not like rushing to get there, but eventually I would like to, like maybe a long weekend just to see what it's all about.
I'd check it out. I feel like it's hyped up for all these, all the things. It's probably worthwhile. I'm sure it's a cool city and everything like that. But Louisiana in general, I'm like, oof, no, thank you.
Get them, look out for them gators down on the bayou.
No, you gotta go get them shrimp. Gotta get them shrimp. They ain't gonna eat themselves. They gonna eat themselves. Get the shrimp.
Guarantee.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Louisiana.
All right.
That's good. I'm fine. Yeah, I don't know. Like I went to Nashville last summer. I'm like, this isn't really my town, but it was cool to go
Is
there.
Nashville, like, is that the northernmost, like, would you consider that the South? Is that the northern point of the South for you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like once you, as far as I'm
Is
concerned,
Missouri the South?
Missouri's like smack dab in the middle of the country. I feel like once you start getting down into Arkansas, like below Missouri is kind of like the South for me. Hell, even southern Missouri, you're kind of like, whoa, look out. Look out. I don't know where the equator is for like North and South in the U.S., but like
The Mason-Dixon line?
boy, once you cross over southern Missouri, you're like, we're here. We made it. Like, whew.
I don't know where it's at, but you know when you're there.
Yeah, when you get there, you're like, uh-oh, we're
I'm here now.
We gonna get you, country. You know, that's what's that's what you're like, uh-oh, don't run out of gas because you don't know what you're gonna have to do to get some. You know, like what's gonna be done to you to get some. So
right,
it's
someone
bad.
pulls out an immersion blender.
And you're like, guess what?
Never a good time.
They're like, don't worry, it doesn't have the blade. And you're like, okay.
I don't. What is that supposed to help?
Maybe. You know, you're like, oh boy. Ugh.
This vibrates real pretty.
Yeah, I'm like, oh boy. So yeah, on my list of places to go, not really anywhere in the South. So.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So. Ta-da.
How about Texas?
No. I've been to Austin for 36 hours, enjoyed some barbecue.
Done.
It was fine, but most of Texas, I'm like, I'm good.
Fair.
Don't
fair.
Don't need
That's
to.
fair.
Don't need to. I'm fine. And a lot of that's just the politics. I don't like. It's unfortunate that the politics of a state is now. I'm like, whew. I don't know if I can be there.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I can be down here because I feel like I might be in trouble.
Oh yeah, this feels
and that's an unfortunate thing to say because you're just generalizing an entire state of people and they're like, hey, there's pockets here and there. I've said that to someone at work who lives in Florida. I'm like, oh, I can never live there. Like, oh, you know, the northern part's like basically like, yeah, you're in the swamp. So those are strange people. But as you head further down south, it gets better. I'm like, that's cool. Still don't want to live there. Like, I visit, but I sure as shit don't want to live there. No, thank you. Hard pass. No thanks.
Yeah, real. I think Family Guy put it. Yeah, they put it the best when they were like, "There's Disney, and then there's real Florida."
Yeah, and you notice that when you leave Disney and you go to the Orlando airport, and you're like, "Oh yeah, welcome to real life. Look at the piss all over this seat in this bathroom," and there's just a monstrous change in things. Yeah. Noticeable change. You're like, we're not a Disney property. Listen, it's not
just
nearly
driving around Orlando in general.
It's not nearly as expensive here, but boy, you're paying for it still, you know?
you're paying in other ways.
Yeah, you pay for it. So, Justin.
Yes.
You're back in the gym.
I joined a gym finally.
Nice. How much you bench?
2.
All right.
2.25.
There we go. 2 stone. That's a good place to start, you know?
2 stone, yeah. No, when we were living in AITA at the apartment, we had a gym on site, and so I used that. Prior to that, at 11:30 in Chicago, had a gym in that building. So it's been a while since I've actually joined a proper gym, and I decided to join Planet Fitness, who sponsors New Year's. Apparently, if you watch the Dick Clark Rockin' Eve, everyone's got a Planet Fitness top hat on. Don't know why.
I hear Dick Clark, and there's just always a joke in there on my side of things where I didn't know who Dick Clark was. And Jill's dad's girlfriend gave me a ton of shit. She's like, aren't you going to grad school for music business? I go, yeah. She goes, and you don't know who Dick Clark is? I go, no, I don't.
No,
I don't know who
I'm not
that
going
is.
for radio.
She goes, you know the guy who hosts New Year's Eve? I go, I don't fucking care about New Year's Eve. I don't know who that is. Like, I'm sorry, you're old. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know who that guy is. Not part of my regular life. I don't know who he is. I don't give a shit that
it is amazing that you had never heard the name before.
It didn't. She's like, oh, Dick Clark, and I want to be like the race car driver. Like, it's just like that. Right. Those 2 jokes have become a regular thing in my household now, where someone says Dick Clark, and we're like the race car driver, because Jill was like, wow. Did
Jill not know either?
I think Jill knew, but she was just like, it just becomes an ongoing joke now that we just use like as, you know, hey, like Dick Clark, you know, like whenever we don't know somebody. And so, I don't know. I'm just resentful because like, I understand that you should know on the shoulders from whom you stand, you know, who came before you. But I'm like, I'm sorry, that person, Dick Clark, was not a big part of my life.
Well, also, Dick Clark, as far as I know, wasn't a record producer, and that's what you were going into.
Yeah,
he was a jock, he was a DJ, but like, he wasn't a record producer. So like, I feel like in my schooling, I should have come across Dick Clark. You not necessarily.
No, I didn't know who that. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know every musician ever. You know, which reminds me, I'm going to small tangent, real quick.
Please.
When I was in grad school, there was this guy that ran the program. His name's Chuck Suber. He has got to be dead now because that guy was ancient when I was there. And I was like, this guy's got to go. He's got to go. He is just like...
Not a fan?
I was impressed with his pedigree, and like he knew so many people. Like he just knew people. It's like, oh, Chuck Suber, he knows all these people because he's been around for so long that he just like was able, like he just personally knew like a lot of famous people. I was like, oh, but as I like went through the program, I'm like, you fucking suck at teaching, old man. Like you need to hang it up. Like he was the biggest complaint out of everyone in the program. It's like, he's got to get out of here. One of the things that he did was he rattled off a list of 50 names. And if you told him to stop or told him to spell it, he would refuse. He would just say a name of someone. You had to write it down, and your job was to go and look them all up and write down who they were and what they did. It was one of the most 1950s assignments I've ever done. And like I'm sitting there, I'm like, who? What? But because of him, I know who Yo-Yo Ma is. That stuck with me. I'm like, oh, good. The cellist. That's cool. Yeah. Like, that's pretty neat. But he just rattled off all these names. He'd be like, Yo-Yo Ma, Dick Clark, Justin Strandlin. And people are like, wait. And he goes, no. And he just keeps going. And you're like, what is this accomplishing? Like, he's like, you need to know who came before you. You need to understand what was built before you got here. And a part of me understands that and appreciates that. But the way you go about it is terrible. Just terrible. So
not even stopping to allow, like, you need to know these people. Can you spell their names? Absolutely not. Moving on.
You need to look it up on your own. I'm like, what if I can't find them because I don't know how to spell their names, sir? It'd be funny if I was like, weird, there's one guy in here that's a race car driver. Kind of weird that he threw him in, you know, like Richard Petty. I thought that. Oh, Tom Petty. My bad.
Well played. That was a great.
In your face, Chuck Suber.
Perfectly.
And Jill's dad's girlfriend. Anyway, so Jim's life's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Jim's
sweating
life
those
is
pecs.
good.
Is that what they say?
Sweating them.
Yeah.
I can't do it like you can. It's mesmerizing.
Something.
Yeah. No. It was cool. So today I went. I went for the first workout there, and it's been a while since I've been in a proper gym setting. And I gotta say, I feel like an outsider. And I don't know if you felt this way when you first joined your gym. You're at Export, right?
Yes. Okay.
When you first joined up, like, did it feel awkward to you at all walking in there? Like, did you feel a fish out of water, or like, I don't know, like you just. I mean, you spent so much time in a gym in high school, though, so maybe you didn't feel that way. Maybe this was like coming home to you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say coming home, but I don't feel as uncomfortable in there because I know how to use most of the machines, and I think that's the biggest fear is you go and look at a machine, you're like, what is this? I don't want to do this the wrong way, like you don't want to be, because I see plenty of people that are just, they're not necessarily doing stuff the wrong way. It's just, I don't know. I'm not. The gym culture is it should be welcome. You're here to work out.
Right.
If you see someone that's overweight, you should be like, you're in the right place. Good job. Welcome here. Let's do this. You're here. You're here. And you're doing it. Good for you. This is the place to be. Because there's some sort of idea sometimes it's like only fit people should be here. It's like, no, everybody should be here.
Right.
Working on themselves,
The intimidating thing is when you walk in, you see someone who's fit, or you see a whole bunch of people who are just like jacked, or they got six packs, or they got, they got a tight situation going on, and they're there and they're just so comfortably just grabbing things, putting them on, they're clanging and banging. That's the words. And they're making it happen. And you walk in, you're like, man, I feel like I am such a noob. And you think that the concern is that everyone's going to be watching you and judging you, when in fact, most of these people are so hyper-focused on themselves.
I think that's a metaphor for life. Shit. So much time you walk through life being like, oh my God, everyone's looking at you. No one's looking at you. Everyone's so focused on their own shit that they do not care.
Right, exactly. But a couple things that I noticed that I thought were interesting. Number one was the attire that people were wearing. Mm-hmm. And so, and again, at a Planet, and I understand, I'm going to say this at the top, Planet Fitness prides itself on the no judgment zone. There's going to be judgment here, just FYI, okay? I'm not living the Planet Fitness life right now. I just don't think of, like, jacked swole dudes working out at a Planet Fitness. Mm-hmm. Like I'm thinking like, I don't know, Gold's Gym or there's some big like some swanky club or some a nice weights room it's just Planet Fitness is not I walked in and there were so many jacked dudes working out and I was just like, what is happening? And they were all wearing roughly the same thing except this one guy, and I want you to tell me if you've ever seen this at your gym. This guy was wearing designer like black athletic pants, the kind that were like, if they were jeans, they'd be slim fit or the skinny jean. Like they were the black athletic pants that came down and like tightened around the ankle. He had a white t-shirt on. He had a stocking cap, and then he had a cardigan on. And this dude was walking around strutting. Like he knew he was like, I look good. And he's wearing a fucking a cardigan to work out, a wool cardigan. And I stopped me in my tracks. I was like, what is this? Are you looking up what a cardigan is?
I was like, I feel like I know what this is, but I needed to make sure. It's like, how dare you? How dare you call me out? Wow.
Yeah. So for those, a cardigan is one of those Mr. Rogers sweaters, right? And I have a cardigan, and there's a way to make it to wear them that they look hip. You don't look like Mr. Rogers, but it's just not a sweater that I assume someone's going to wear to a gym.
This guy was lifting? He wasn't like
this guy was.
He wasn't washed up and leaving.
No, this guy was very much in the middle of his workout, and he was the kind of guy that in the middle of a set or in between, he would do laps so everyone would see him, and he was singing to himself or humming. Like he was peacocking throughout the entire. And I'm like, dude, you're in a Planet Fitness. Relax.
I will walk in between sets because I like to keep my heart rate up and I want to keep moving. I
understand that.
But, now I'm wondering, I'm like, do people think I'm doing that? Because, when I have my cardigan on,
I was going to say, are you wearing your gym cardigan?
You don't have your weightlifting cardigan, Justin? Well, I think you need to get your Planet Fitness weightlifting cardigan. So
this is why I was worried they were looking at me because I didn't have my cardigan on.
That's right.
Now, here's what I want to do is I want to figure out this guy's pattern when he comes, and I want to show up one time wearing I want to wear my cardigan and then take the bench next to him.
I'm going to come.
And just start.
Sorry, you said I want to come a lot, so I was like,
I want to come.
Get on this. Yeah.
And I just want to be like, what's up, bro? How much do you bench?
Yeah.
Do you even lift? If you're not wearing a cardigan, do you even lift, bro?
Wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting attire choice. Never seen that before.
I was going to say, so you've never seen that? What are some of the more interesting?
I've seen someone working out in jeans before, and I'm like, that is a choice.
Really interesting.
That's a choice.
Okay.
Like, hey man, like this doesn't seem comfortable at all. But you do you, man. Like,
were they doing cardio or were they like lifting?
They were. I think they were. Started doing I noticed them doing cardio, and I was like, whew.
Okay.
Oh boy.
That's even. I feel like if you were lifting, that's one thing, but like if you
even lifting, like depending on what you're doing, hopefully you're just doing upper body. Too. Hopefully you're not doing anything Squats with the legs, because yikes, there's gotta be a lot of give in those. And I had the same thing. I'm like, listen, you work out with what you got. I understand whatever, but I'm like, come on, get some shorts, dude. Like you can do this. Right. I believe in you. I don't know. I haven't seen too much out there as far as attire goes. That's probably the weirdest thing I've seen is like I've just seen some things where I'm like, that doesn't seem like it'd be very comfortable to work out in. It seems very restrictive. It's like yikes. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about
the other
that.
thing, so the attire I just thought was interesting. There's so many, and then people in various stages of dress or undress, and I'm just like, there's we could have a whole conversation about that. But the other thing that I did want to bring up and to see how it is in your gym is the photo culture, or the documenting yourself culture in the gym. I didn't see a ton of it. Now again, this is my first day at Planet, so this could be it could be more pervasive than I saw today. I saw like 2 or 3 people. Then there was, I don't know, there's probably 50 people total at the gym. So 2 or 3 people, not a ton, but they had their cameras out. And I just find this whole concept of and I don't know if it's for themselves. Are they social media content creators? Are they wannabe influencers? I don't know how many fitness influencers we have in Grand Rapids. I can't assume it's a lot, but it's just odd to me that there's so many people who have their, like, tripods and setting up and documenting their workout. Do you see this a lot in your gym?
It's not quite rare, but it's not frequent. It's somewhere in between. Like, it's to the point where when I see it, I'm like, whoa, what's up with this? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get instantly annoyed because a lot of gym culture, I feel like, to me personally, like, this is how I view going to the gym. I'm going to the gym to get my shit done. I'm going to work out. I'm not there to socialize. I'm not there to do anything other than like do my shit and go home. For some older folks that go to my gym, that's a socializing time. I'm like, good for you. Whatever you're gonna do, that's fine. I don't want to waste any more time here than I need to because I got shit I got to do. I want to go out. I want to get this done. I want to move on. And I'm also not there to like. Fortunately, I don't see this too much. It's ultra rare to see people like flexing, like there's or posing or things like that. So thankfully that doesn't happen too much. But I just find people taking selfies in general to be incredibly cringeworthy. When I was out and about on the street, I saw a girl like doing a selfie, and I was like, "Stop! We can all see you." Like, it's almost as if she pulled down her pants to drop a shit on the sidewalk. I was like, "We're all watching. We could see." And she would stop, and she'd be like that, and then she does it again. I'm like, "We saw you, we saw you the first time, and then you did it again." And then I saw someone do that in the gym, which was also bad. Like, she just got in with a set, and she was like, meh. And then she's like, wait a minute. And then she's like,
get it right.
I'm like, I can see you doing this. We all can. Why are you doing this here? Why? You don't have to do this. Why are you doing a selfie? That is just one of the most repulsive things in the world to me. Like, doing a selfie in public with just yourself. With just your, I know, but if it's like, hey, we're taking a photo of, well, that's one thing. But if you're just like, I'm like, people can see you. We can all see you do this.
That's
Stop
the point,
it,
Doug. The more people that see them, the more they are nourished by it.
Because the thing is, like, it's not authentic. It's like that episode. It's that episode of Scrubs where Brendan Fraser is on there and he's taking Polaroids of people, and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And he goes, "Because this is the real moment. I don't like post pictures because that's fake." He goes, "I want to see people in the midst of their lives. That's why I snap their pictures of that sort of stuff." And I'm the same way, where people are like, no, stop it. Don't do that. Right. Do that in private. I don't want to see that. I get like irrationally emotional when I see it. I'm like, gross. No.
Well, there's also the concern that you're going to be in it, or you're going to get in their way and they're going to get pissed off at you. There's a guy who actually I really like following, Joey Swole is his Instagram name. Mm-hmm. And he's the guy he's big buff dude,
pretty positive
bodybuilder. Guy. Pretty positive. He's the CEO of Gym Positivity is what his Twitter handle says. But he does this thing where the people who are taking the selfies and then someone gets in their way and then they troll them or they dox them or whatever, this guy takes those videos and calls out the people who are filming and is like, you are not living the proper gym life. Mm-hmm. Like, gym culture needs, like you said at the beginning, gym culture needs to be positive. It needs to be, you're here trying to better yourself. These people are all, this, that, and the other. And I love watching his videos because those videos are what I'm so concerned about at the gym, is getting in front of someone, getting like me turning and then like just glancing past someone, but getting caught like creeping or staring at them on their phone when it's just, when you're just turning, I mean, hey, look, I work out my way, you work out your way. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's the concern. Like now you're always being filmed. And I just feel like the gym is one of the last places that I want that to happen, Yeah,
I get really upset when I see that because, first of all, if you're in the middle of a workout and you have to stop to be like, all right, what's the camera angle here? What's the lighting like? Is this the right angle? And you're just like, I'm like, you're wasting time. You're wasting energy trying to set up the fucking camera shot. Like, you're here to work out right now. Now, I don't know what it's for. If it's like you're doing it to post to a coach to be like, this is what my form is or whatever, or you want to do that personal use, that's totally cool. If you're doing it because you're trying to put your shit on Instagram or whatever, listen, that exists, but I'm not here for that. Like, I find that stuff to be very vain And I don't like it. I find it repulsive. Some people, that's their shit. They have mirrors and gyms. People be like, well, why are you working out? Don't you want to look good? Yeah, but I'm also not flexing in front of the mirrors all the time. Like, right. I don't go there to peacock or whatever and whatnot. So when I see someone with a camera, I immediately I'm like grossed out. I'm like, gross. Yeah. This is gross that you're doing this. And it's funny because I never see the same people doing it. Like I'll see because like I have a pretty regular time. You find your gym crowd that you go to on the regular. You find that. And I was like, I will occasionally see someone, but then I won't see that person again. I'm like, where'd you go? You know, where did you change? Did you hop in on my schedule for a little bit and then go back to your normal one? Like, why were you here? Why are you doing this? Because that's the thing is because people will go through that and then they make fun of people in the background. Like there was these two women that were doing. There was a guy that was doing like some hip circles. Mm-hmm. Like, and they were behind him and they were recording themselves like ridiculing him. They were essentially mimicking what he was doing and laughing. Yeah. And they basically got called out for it. I think they were, gym influencers and they were like, oh, no, we weren't making fun of him. We were just, I was like, no, you were falling down laughing. Hip circles are not an insane thing to do. Hip circles are a very common way to loosen your hips. They're not crazy.
And my lower back. I have lower back issues, and I find hip circles very, very helpful.
Great way for your hip flexors and things like that. It's not crazy. Or the idea of, don't get me wrong. Like there are documented strange shit at gyms. All right, there's wild shit. Okay.
I will say on the inverse, those are also some of my favorite videos, just to be like, what is this individual doing?
Right.
This is wild.
It's wild. There's some wild stuff. And there are some gross things that people do to try and look how much I can lift, whatever. It's gross.
Have you seen the guy who straps the bench to himself and then jump ropes?
No.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what functional training that's helping, but okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing wild shit, man. The health and fitness world is a crazy world of lies, and it's an ocean that you're like, I don't know, man, go survive if you can, because it's crazy out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild, it's weird. I don't like the filming of the stuff, and I'm just like, I'm a big fan of we come here to work out, and we work out and we leave, and we go home and we do our thing. Yeah. No need to do anything else. No need to make it more difficult or weirder for anybody else. So,
I agree. Yeah, and I'm sure that this will be a reoccurring topic.
I'd love to know. I'd love to know what your gym's like. Mine's fine. I ebb and flow with it. There's days where I'm like, God, this person sucks. And also just the general. We said shopping cart was a way to tell if someone was a pure animal or not. Also, go to your gym and see who's an animal because people just don't put shit away.
They don't wipe shit down.
They can't be bothered to wipe shit down or put stuff away, and it is fucking depressing. Like, wow,
it is.
We somehow built skyscrapers, but we can't fucking put our weights away. Okay,
we put a goddamn man on the moon.
Yeah, but we can't fucking put the 45-pound plate where it belongs, or put the dumbbells back where they belong, or whatever. It's sad. You're like, God, this place sucks. Yeah. Tell us your worst gym stories.
Yeah, but honestly, please, I would love to hear more about.
What's the thing you love to see at a gym? Like a positive thing, and what's one of the most annoying things you see at a gym? Because I saw a video of a girl who was trying to do a squat, and she was failing, and this random guy came up. He's like, no. He's like, do it again. Let's do it again. You can do this. He's like, just make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And she fucking nailed it. She got a PR. And he's like, here, I'll spot you. He goes, you're afraid. He goes, I'll spot you. And then he's like, I don't even need to spot you. She did it. He goes, there you go. He did it. He just walked away. And I'm like,
yes,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Awesome.
That's what that gym should be, is someone trying to help people out. But that could easily be like, fuck you, man. Because there's a guy, an older guy coming to a younger woman who's like, hey, don't give. But it was they understood each other in a way of hey, you can do this.
It was done with true positive intent.
You can do this. I know you got this. I'm gonna help you out. I haven't seen any shit like that or anything like that where I am. Yeah. But there's plenty of annoying things. So, share with us what you see, and we'd love to hear it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of sharing.
Yeah. Copyright, baby.
Disney is sharing now with the world, Doug.
Yeah, because they fucked up.
Not of their own choice, but, they're sharing. Steamboat Willie hit public domain 2024.
Do you know what Steamboat Willie is, you dum-dums? That's the very first incarnation of Mickey Mouse. Way back when. back in 1928. Is that right? Did I get that right?
That is correct. You are correct.
Fucking nailed it.
did it, man.
Nailed it.
Yes.
But yeah, he's basically, I think they call it Mickey Mouse version 1.0 is basically what Steamboat Willie is. He's that black and white cartoon where he was on the steamboat and steering it and stuff like that. So this is interesting because technically that version of Mickey Mouse is in public domain, but all the other ones like Mickey from Fantasia and all that other stuff, like no, like that Mickey is very seriously under trademark and copyright law. And
that's why about every decade or 2 decades, you'll see Disney slightly tweaks the design to Mickey. And that's just because they get to keep him for that much longer.
Yeah. So there's a great little, in this article from NPR, there's a great little infographic that's like, what can't you do? And one of them under the trademark says you cannot use Mickey in a way that misleads consumers into thinking your work is produced or sponsored by Disney. So there's that. And also for newer copyrights, you cannot use new copyrightable versions of Mickey until those copyrights expire. But in public domain, you are free to use, share, and build on Mickey Mouse 1.0.
Now, in April, I believe, of last year, John Oliver did this on his show. He talked about, he goes, let's talk about, copyright law and public domain. We talked about Winnie the Pooh, who in 2022, Winnie the Pooh hit public domain, and we were blessed with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. He goes, this and that. He goes, but Winnie the Pooh is not the only thing by Disney that is or will soon be in public domain. He talked about this, and then he basically spent the next 8 minutes trying to goat Disney into suing him by using Steamboat Willie as many times as possible in as many different instances, even having a live action Steamboat Willie, a guy in a costume, come out, and he was just like, your move, Disney, your move. He's like, I know it's not 2024 yet, your move. And since that point, that's the first time I heard about it, I have been salivating, waiting for this to happen, because I knew, did it not... Oh, I didn't put it in here. I sent it to you. Yes. Yeah. I have been waiting for this to happen because I knew, based off of Winnie the Pooh, that one of the first things that was going to come out, and we only had to wait less than 24 hours for the trailer for Mickey's Mousetrap.
Yeah.
To drop.
And
it is a horror movie. It looks like the worst movie.
Listen, I don't want to shit on people trying to make stuff. I'm trying to be a positive person, but that was a brutal trailer to get through. Like, that was a horrly cut trailer.
Someone rushed the shit out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
It was so I was like, why does this feel like a Sony trailer? Like, this is so slow and so long.
But I'm so looking forward to what else comes, because, again, we only had to wait until January. It hit public domain on the 1st, and on the 2nd we got our first thing. And I'm like, man, this is going to be
Which means people have been doing this because they were planning on it, which it just looks like absolute shit. And someone posted, Seth posted in our Discord an image of Steamboat Willie saying, I'm a gay trans communist and I support software piracy. Happy new public domain year.
And Disney has to just be fucking rolling over this.
I saw this article from NPR that they actually released Steamboat Willie on YouTube not that long ago. So, like, as far as Steamboat Willie goes, they've kind of like...
They've let that go.
They've let that go, but you got to be... Like, they say in this article, you can't just open up a restaurant called Mickey Mouse, now.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You can't be like, I'm the Mickey Mouse restaurant! Like, that's a trademark violation. Like, that's gonna get you beat up pretty bad. But it's funny because they say that Steamboat Willie was available on YouTube for free back in 2009, so they've been like whatever. But they say, here's the irony, Steamboat Willie was based on a popular film at the time.
So that's the other thing that I heard someone saying was that I think I was watching a CBS Sunday Morning thing, and they were like, Disney for a lot of their properties uses what's in public domain to create their stories.
Snow White.
Classic Snow White, exactly. Frozen, Peter Pan,
Cinderella.
A lot of these things, exactly, were from public domain. And so they were like, this is kind of poetic that Disney finally has one of their original, kind of the original character is now being opened up, because that is in a kind of, again, like in a poetic way, that breeds creativity. You take something and you iterate upon it. You create something new from what has been created. And that's just kind of how art and creativity moves forward. So I'm excited for the bullshit things that we get, like the Mousetrap and Blood and Honey and all that. But I'm also excited to see truly what someone can do with these things that are being released now. You know, like, is there any actual fun things that are going to come
because
out?
when I remember like going through like my very brief legal classes just for the sake of copyright and music and stuff like that, copyright law is insane, man. Like copyrights for this stuff, it's life of the creator plus 90 years or 70 or 90. It's one of those. It's insane that multiple lifetimes will have, like, take any Beatles song, right?
Yeah.
That will not hit public domain until next century. You know, like that's insane.
Until Paul dies, and then
70 or 90, whatever it is, takes place, and then that will be public domain. And because it says at the final paragraph of this article, it says, as enshrined in the Constitution, copyright was originally intended to protect creators for fewer than 30 years.
Right.
While copyright extensions may enrich corporations, they impoverish the cultural conversations that rely on relevancy, innovation, and creativity to drive artistic and technological progress.
That's a great,
Which I think is really totally true. Like the idea of like, no, we're protecting this thing for our lifetime plus 70 years. That's insane. That's really, really insane. And I think I remember at the hotel, the head of security was bitching to me over at Christmas when Bing Crosby's, White Christmas would come on. He's like, I can't believe this asshole is still getting paid money for this. This is bullshit. He's dead. He's dead. And at the time I was like, well, I mean, if you wrote this, wouldn't you want your family to be, covered for it? He's like, fuck that guy. This is stupid. Like, he was so aggravated that Bing Crosby was still getting a check for White Christmas years after he's been dead. He's like, this is stupid. And now as I've gotten older, I'm like, it kind of is stupid. Like, what? Like, this is it's kind of wild that, you'd be getting paid for that. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I think the 30-year thing, I feel like that makes sense. Like,
I mean, feel like come on, what can you do for 30 years? I mean, you can cash in a lot for 30 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. And well, I mean, I'm back and forth on it because yes, but at the same time, if you created the thing, should you not be able to? Should your heirs not be able to reap the benefits of what you worked hard to create?
Yeah, but like, let's take Star Wars, for example, okay? Let's take Star Wars, all right? Star Wars came out in, what, 79?
Sure-ish.
Okay, you think from 79 to 2009, George Lucas didn't amass a few $1 billion? When he sold it off to Disney?
He sold Star Wars, right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, we did a lot. He did a lot in 30 years with that franchise. Like, I think we're okay. I think he's okay with that. I think what sucks is if you copyright something and it doesn't hit until like year 25.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that Star Wars is a very unique example of that. Like, we're looking at the extreme examples. What about like the moderate or low examples? Well, that could be anything. People make shit all the time, and it just doesn't pan out for whatever reason. But if it does, I mean, let's do Jurassic Park or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, pick one of those things. I mean, 30 years of that thing. It's like, I mean, shit, fucking 12 years of Marvel. I mean, good God, like those movies, fucking hell, it's crazy what that stuff can do. So that's interesting because it's the life of the person who created it, and then like 70 years or whatever after that. So with something like Marvel, who created it? Is it Feige? Is it like what does that look like?
Yeah.
This is, and to your point, I feel like this is where copyright law gets real murky.
Well, yeah, because it's like, does Stan Lee technically own it? Like, he owned the rights, but then who owns like the film rights? Who owns like all that sort of stuff? It's crazy. All right, so it's life of the author plus 70 years. Okay, that's what it is. Fuck, that's a long time. God damn it, that's a long time. Yeah, I have no idea with those kinds of things, with that sort of stuff. Star Wars made sense to me because like that was an original concept by George Lucas. Yeah. But now Star Wars has become a corporation. It's a brand. It's like, it's beyond just, oh yeah, I had this idea for the space opera with space wizards, and it's like, oh no, and now it's a fucking corporation that will live on in perpetuity. You know? Because how cool would it be? How cool would it be if Star Wars did its 30 years and then in 2009, public domain?
It would have been a fucking free-for-all. Can you imagine?
But imagine what people could do with that. You know what I mean?
Well, look, it didn't stop Zack Snyder. He made Rebel Moon.
Right? Which I haven't seen, but boy, did I hear. I was like, I'm excited to watch this. And all I saw was like, don't. And I'm like, I still want to. But they're like, don't. Just don't. I'm like, but.
You put it on Netflix, and Netflix even it goes, ba-bum, don't.
Sorry. You know,
sorry.
Like, we're
Are you
sorry.
sure? Hit OK to continue. Are you sure?
I was like, I don't know. The trailer for it looked interesting. But just the idea of something that is that massively successful. Because also I think it makes you, if that were the thing too, like it would encourage you to really hyper focus on that for that limited of time, right? Because you basically get 30 years to
do what you can do with it.
Do what you can. I mean, hell, even fucking pharmaceutical stuff eventually gets generic versions, you know, at some point.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like that's I know it's patents and things like that, but still.
Can't wait for OxyContin to have this generic one.
Dude, can't wait. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Called Moxie Slotin.
Oxymotin. Coxy oxen.
Foxy your mommin. You know?
Ramen jamin.
Jamin ramen. Hey.
Why not?
Boppity boopy. That's how it goes.
Ramen. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. This would be a fun thing to talk more like at some point in time. But it'd be
really fun to have a lawyer on.
Oh, I don't think anyone has ever uttered that ever.
That's
It'd be really fun to talk to a lawyer.
I'd like to retract my statement.
I think it'd be interesting to do a thought experiment where we take popular things when they hit and then give them 30 years and then be like, at that time, if that went into public domain, what do you think would happen?
Ooh, that's fun.
Wouldn't that be? Oh man, that would be fun. I want to stew on this a little bit.
Let's stew on that. Let's also put it out to our community and in the Discord channel and in the podcast discussion channel. Go ahead and hit us up with some ideas if you have things that you want to guess on, like what is a thing 30 years from now and what could they make of it? Because
that's the thing. When you think about stuff that goes into public domain now, like I mean, just the idea of like the general story of Cinderella, right? Like. Right. Snow White, all those fairy tales, that's Robin Hood, Dracula, all these things that like are just general things that exist in our culture. What if something like Star Wars was you could just go and create something based on that? You know what I mean? That's based on that actual canon. And you can make your own canon. Holy shit. Like, oh my God, that would be incredible. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess my juice is flowing.
What came out? Here's what 2024's public domain works and how you can use them. Because there was a whole bunch of stuff that hit. Tigger, as depicted in the House at Pooh Corner, specifically. The Marx Brothers Animal Crackers musical. So there aren't a lot of public domain movies out there you could plausibly remake and get guaranteed laughs, but you can now cheat by simply mining the book from the Broadway show Animal Crackers, which was later adapted into the still copyrighted film. The public domain can't yet claim the Marx Brothers' brilliant performance, but the book. So the source material for the Marx Brothers movies Animal Crackers is now open. Virginia Woolf's book, Buster Keaton's The Cameraman. So there's some again, because of how long you have to wait though, how much of this is still relevant?
That's the thing. Like
is to that article's point, that NPR article's point, if you wait this long, you want to talk about stuff, this stuff needs to come out when it's still stuff that people is talking about. How many people are still talking about Animal Crackers by the Marx Brothers, you know?
I love this is a song called Let's Do It, in parentheses, Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter. If ever a song lent itself to endless user-created verses, Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter was that song. It's just a list of things that, quote-unquote, do it. Birds do it. Bees do it. Even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. The original lyrics of the song aren't even accurate. Romantic sponges, they say do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
So wait, are we allowed to play that song now?
It's in public
Can we
domain.
play that?
I don't know, man.
And not get sued?
I don't know, man.
Because I kind of want to play it right now.
Welcome to the new Mind Gap theme song.
Flies do it.
Remix!
Right?
Oh, no, man.
Everybody do it. Mind Gap Podcast.
I'm gonna come.
Oh, if ever there were a transition, it was that.
Yeah.
You got the questions, we got the answers. All you do is ask. Practical, 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 practical. Ask Practical Doug.
Oh, mommy.
Yes. Did you remix that yourself?
No, I just
Did you
clicked it a
hit
bunch
the
of times.
thing?
Just like,
Okay.
you know.
I'm gonna come.
Well, yeah, no, I consider that you remixing that yourself.
Remix!
And in 70 years after you die, that remix will become public domain.
There you go. That's how it works.
If you have never been here for Ask Practical Doug, Practical Doug is a small Doug who lives inside of large Doug, and he helps guide Doug through all of life's mysteries, its questions, its quagmires, its quandaries. You can ask Practical Doug a question if you'd like, and you can get an answer on any social media at MindGap Podcast, hashtag AskPracticalDoug, or on our aforementioned Discord server. There's a channel dedicated to Ask Practical Doug. But today we're going back to our favorite Am I the Asshole well, and we're we're analyzing a question asked by OK Analyst 7297. Okay, Analyst
I think
7297.
they need to. You're not just okay. All right, you're better than okay. All right, you're not just an
Or do you
okay
think-
analyst. You know,
Or do you think it's like OK Boomer? It's like OK Analyst,
I think they're like, I'm an okay analyst. You know,
OK Analyst. I'm not great analyst.
yeah.
Maybe great analyst was taken.
I don't know.
Or
But-
maybe there's 7,296 other OK analysts out
Yeah,
there.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, OK Analyst 7297 asks, am I the asshole for opening a, quote, fake gift during a family Christmas party? I also love the badge that this got, poo mode activated.
I don't know what that means. But
I don't know what that
it's
means, but
on.
I'm into it.
It's on,
So
baby.
every year my family does Christmas at my mom's, and she insists that we open all presents together, even gifts between spouses. It's normally an OK tradition, an OK analyst tradition.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes it can spark jealousy or comparison between families. This year, my husband saved up and bought me my dream designer handbag for Christmas. I know some people aren't into that, but it's something that I truly love. We're not well off, but we're not doing poorly either. But I knew that the handbag would cause a lot of discussion amongst my siblings and parents. I just didn't want their opinions and criticisms to ruin a special gift my husband worked hard to get me. So this year, my husband got me an extra gift that wasn't the, quote, real gift. It was a moderately priced skincare set. Christmas came and went without drama, but I recently posted a picture of my husband and our kids at dinner, and my handbag could be seen hanging off the back of my chair. One of my friends commented underneath about how gorgeous my Christmas gift was as well. Long story short, word got back to my family and they totally blew up. Some were annoyed that I opened a private gift separately from the family. Others were criticizing the price of the gift. My siblings are now calling me disingenuous for harboring a secret gift, and they said that I did it because that I think I'm better than them. I didn't open it with them because I didn't want their opinions, but now I'm starting to feel like for keeping it a secret. All right.
Asshole.
An asshole.
Oh
All
my
right,
God!
yeah.
I thought you were joking.
No, I was like, what if
I was feeling like
A-H?
spider.
All right.
asshole.
For keeping it a secret. I knew either way they'd all criticize me, though, since it was so much more expensive than all the other gifts. So I don't know whether or not I'm wrong. Am I an or not?
Oh man, this just sends spikes
I had
of
a
rage
feeling-
to my soul with all this because
got big Chris Cochran vibes.
oh my God, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I saw a video the other day of like when someone marries into we watch everyone open their presents at Christmas.
I think Seth sent that to us. Yeah.
And the guy's like, I hate that. Like all that tension, like, all right, we're all going to watch you open a gift now. It's
Your
like,
turn now. Yeah.
I fucking hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I think this person, OK Analyst was being very thoughtful. And unfortunately, being thoughtful because they're like, I don't feel comfortable opening this in front of everybody because I'm afraid they're going to judge me. And spoiler alert, she was right.
They did. Yeah. You
She was
just proved it
exactly right. Who cares if that's what she wants? If that's what she wants, that's what she enjoys. Listen, I think a designer handbag is dumb. And I think skincare is dumb. Those aren't gifts for me. They're gifts for her. And she likes them. Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's fucking killing it for her. Like, he knows exactly what she's getting, and he got her some awesome stuff. I think that's great. That's what she's into. If you're not into that, get fucked, Doug. Get fucked. Like, it's not...
I like how you're taking yourself down in this, too.
Of course, because I was like, that's not for me. Who cares? But the idea that she knew, she's like, if I open this in front of everybody, there's going to be a lot of like, right. You only got me socks. You know, like it's just constant comparison, which is one of the reasons why Christmas sucks. Is because Christmas is about comparing what you got. And one of the things I've also learned as having a kid is you have to be very careful about what Santa gives your kid. Because if Santa gives your kid a badass present, but then another kid doesn't get shit from Santa because the family's not as well off, then why does Santa think you're a piece of shit? Like, that's something I didn't even think about.
I didn't either. Oh,
also,
shit.
Santa's not taking credit for my fucking gifts. Fuck that guy. So we make sure that we give more modest gifts from Santa, and the big shit comes from us because we want, that's something. So anyway, I digress. The Christmas sucks, but I think OK Analysts, they're not an asshole at all. They're being thoughtful of trying not to make a scene. And the fact that the family afterwards was like, where'd you get the how'd they find out that she opened this separately, like from Christmas? Like, who gives a shit? Like,
also,
who cares?
Fuck you guys for policing gifts.
Right.
Like, just like it's my mom insists that we open all presents. Get fucked.
Don't.
I'm sorry. Like,
don't.
Don't. That's
don't
absolutely.
Tell me what I'm going to do with my time or what I'm going to do with my fucking gifts.
Or my fucking family.
I'm a goddamn
If I want to
adult.
exchange gifts with my husband or my wife, like, fuck you, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Don't get fucked. Yeah. I think the entire family is an asshole. OK Analyst and her husband, totally fine.
Totally fine. Yeah, everyone else can get fucked, man. Like, Christmas, do better. All right?
Right.
We'll back here again next year. Unfortunately, do fucking better.
Do fucking better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't have to deal with that family next Christmas.
Maybe. Because they'll just be...
Just finger blasted ourselves. It was great.
That wasn't what I thought it was going to be. That didn't go the way that I thought. It's been a while since I played that one, so...
Was that me?
That was you. Oh, was that me? Did I say that? Was that me?
I just don't remember saying that.
Oh, yeah?
Just finger blasted ourselves. It was great.
All
right.
That's what you did last Christmas,
Well, last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and I finger blasted myself.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. I finger blasted our buttholes. It was great.
It was great.
It was great. Couldn't ask
so
for anything better.
So it is decided, not the asshole.
Yeah, baby. I don't got anything. So
I think we topped it.
I think we did it. I think we did it.
Yep.
You
got to get your dick out.
All right. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
I am going to recommend Doug Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
He did it. He did it. He watched it.
I did, and it was good. It was very, very good. I'm very excited for the conclusion.
Right?
Very excited for the conclusion.
Such a good fucking movie, man. The music, the acting, the animation, the art was beautiful, man. Just beautiful.
It was gorgeous. I was trying to figure out which one I liked better. Did I like the first one better, or if I had to choose which one? I think the first one still holds top spot for me, but this one gave it a big old fight.
But this one's my Empire Strikes Back. This is my Infinity War. Like this one, it raises the bar. It raises the bar. Now, does it stick the landing in the next one? I don't know. But this one raises the stakes. Okay. And not only that, I love the cold open. The cold open's amazing in this film because it doesn't even have Miles in it. It's all about
true.
it's all about Gwen. And
Yeah.
all that stuff that happens. And then it's like, I'm like, oh my God, that's right. We haven't even done the title sequence. It was like so good, so emotional, so like powerful. And I love the art on Gwen's world too. Like just, they did so many creative things visually in it that like were amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a fight between the two.
The villain's incredible.
I could still be convinced. Yeah. Wait, which villain though?
Right? Right?
Right.
It's so good. And honestly, this the creativity in this one, like, was through the roof. Like, the first one, super creative, but it's just like, I mean, Moonbatten. I mean, oh my God. Just the idea of, like, anything that's what I love about the one good thing about multiverse is, like, anything's possible, have fun.
Right.
And when people lean into it, they're like, oh yeah, there's a universe where Peter Parker's a Jeep, you know?
Or a T-Rex.
T-Rex, you know? Right, yeah.
The multiverse lends itself beautifully to animation.
Yes.
Beautifully.
Yes.
It gets weird when it comes to live action. It can work, but it gets weird.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm here for you. I got you back.
Doug, what do you recommend? I'm done. Just undercutting all my points.
What?
With Donald Trump jizzing in his pants.
Yeah, he's just announcing what he's about to do.
With his little T-Rex arms.
He's like, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Yeah, you know? When I'm president.
I'm going to come.
You know? Finally. In 4 years, all backed up, you know?
Right. Melania won't touch me. I'm going to come.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You haven't watched it, you should watch it. I'm going to recommend the board game Diced Veggies from KTBG Games. I saw this game on a random video. I think Seth sent it over to me, and I saw this game, and I'm like, I'm fucking buying this game. Unfortunately, the shipping costs as much as the game, but it was fucking worth it.
All right.
Because I think they're based out of Canada. So, but...
Even more reason to buy from them.
It was incredible. It's a very fun game. I play it with Natalie. She won today. Finally, I told her, I go, hey, you're going to beat me at this game sooner rather than later. She goes, what about Spider-Heck? I go, later rather than sooner. You're not going to beat me on that for a while. But I go, with Diced Veggies, you are, and today she beat me. It's a really cute game that uses dice, and you're cooking up all these different recipes with the dice, and... it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's great for kids. It's great for adults. I can't recommend it enough. It is an absolute delight. You get like this like little cleaver.
I'm watching the video on their website with no sound, and I'm very confused.
It's so cool, man. It's such a fun game. It's so good. I saw that. I'm like, that's gonna be a great game to get with Natalie. So it's so good. I highly recommend it. Go check it out again. Called Diced Veggies from KTBG Games. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Give us a real quick rundown of how it works.
So essentially, you get this different selection of dice. Like there's a couple different colors. There's like colors for mushrooms, carrots, tomatoes, garlic, and chilies. And you get a cleaver, and on your no onions. It's garlic. It's not onions. And you use your cleaver to basically cut down in a very specific way to get no more than 10 like dice that are worth 10 or less. And you use those to as your ingredients to make the recipes that you have. And each recipe have different points. Like if it has more ingredients, it's worth more. But then you also get these hype cards that you can play that can add more to your recipe, but it usually requires you to do something. Like one of them is like all the dice have to add up to exactly 25. And if they do... you get 9 extra points, which is huge in the game. Or it's like discard your other hype card and you can use this one and it's worth 4. Like there's all different things you can do to kind of like add bonuses on to your things. And it's like really easy setup, really easy to explain, and it's so much fun. There's something fun about like, I'm going to slice this off. And there's some strategy to it as well. It's super fun. Like I think Chef Mike should play this game and rep this game. That'd be cool. I'd play this with him. That. Like Chef Mike, play this with me. You know,
there you go. We need so instead of Doug plays video games, it's going to be Doug plays board games with Chef Mike.
There we go. Make it happen.
We need to make this happen.
Chef Mike. I mean, he promoted that cooking video game. I can't remember what it's called. Overcooked 2. He was in the commercial for that. So there you go. Ta-da! Yeah.
This just makes me hungry looking at this board game.
It's cool, man. It's totally cool. You won't be disappointed. I promise.
Similarly, have you seen Chef Mike's new show?
No, I haven't, because it's on some channel that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Fruity? Tubi
Sure,
Duty?
why not?
I don't know.
Chef Mike cooks his way through the D&D cookbook.
Yes. What's it called? Heroes Feast or something like that?
I think it's what it's called. Yeah, look it up if you have the channel. Go watch it. Show Chef Mike some support.
Some
Show him
love. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. We're good at too. So check us out. YouTube.com/MindGapPodcast to watch us. Hit the like and subscribe button. Follow us on all our social media at MindGap Podcast. Check the link in the description down below for links to our Discord, to our merch, to our Patreon. Show us some love there as well. And be sure to follow Justin online as well.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's a fun way of spelling it. While you're in the online realm, any place where you can find and consume quality podcast, you can find us. Share, subscribe, rate, review, all those things we ask you to do every week. But sharing is one of the biggest ones. Let people know that we exist, please, and thank you. I said it nicely, so now you have to do it.
Better do it.
TwoEastEighth.com, TwoEastEighth on all social media, loveandimprovfilm.com, loveandimprovfilm on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, gang, thanks for joining us. It's 2024. I hope you survive the time with your family. And let's get ready. Let's do this. Let's go. Suit up. It's time to go. All right.
Hashtag New Year, New Us. Am I right?
Hashtag show them sweaty pecs at the gym. All of that, including the stutters. Justin, Thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Listeners and viewers, thank you. Have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.